Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens podcast and YouTube channel, Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P. This is episode 17 for the YouTube channel and for the audio version, season one, episode 20. You can check that out on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. All the platforms are listed in the description, so y'all can just go check it out there. Today, got two special guests. Got my guy Hendo back on from Ravens Online, ungatekeepers with the parentheses on the un. He's basically like a regular on here. And then we got the lovely Miss Shannon Fish back on here. She took time out her busy day to come back and join us. So, we can ready to get into it. Anything you guys want to say before we get into the good stuff?
No,
Now let's just
right.
jump into it.
So we're gonna start off with just offensive productivity and play calling. I'm gonna put that all in one. So Shannon, the floor is yours.
Um, I think last week I went on my rant about Lamar and it was kind of taken out of context. I just want to say I do like Lamar. I want him to win because if he does good, then we do good. And that's as a fan, honestly, as fans, that's all we want. Like we really don't care about how you win. If you win, if you play bad and we can still win, well, we can get past that too. It's just that when you consistently lose games the same way, it's kind of frustrating. And Harbaugh said something in his press conference on Monday where he said that in practice, we make the plays. We execute in practice well. So that means that the quarterback is doing what he has to do, the wide receivers, running backs. Like that means everybody's doing what they have to do in that moment to make them feel comfortable on game day to call these plays, right? Then we get to game day and we can't execute, right? So what I want to say about the offense is I don't want to blame one person. I'm saying it's all of them, from the coaches to the 11 minute they put out on that floor. Because why is it that you're able to execute in practice? Because basically everything you're going to do in a game, you're going to practice first, right? You're really not going to go out on the field and do something you haven't done before. If you guys can execute in practice, what's the issue on the field? So then it makes me wonder in practice, where's Greg Roman? Is he in close quarters with Lamar in the offense, or is he far away like he is during a game? Like that's part of the issue to me. Is it too far away? And I think that's kind of I don't know what it is, but I think that's what's attributing to us having those delays again. Like we continue to have the same issues. I don't know if it's they can't hear, they're not getting the plays in on time. I don't know. But the only answer I could come up with as I was thinking about this is it has to be a mental thing. I don't know if it's a mental block from like again, it's not one person. I'm saying from the top to the 11 men that go on that floor. What is it? Because we can't keep saying we need wide receivers. We can't keep saying it's the scheme. We can't keep saying that when in practice they're saying it's working. So that's my takeaway is just wondering why does it work in practice but not on the field?
Good question. Go ahead, Hidden Dude. Floor is yours.
Oh man, it's so much to unpack here. To Shannon's point, in my opinion, why it's working in practice and it's not working on the field, it comes down to tendencies. We know what our defense is going to do. We practice against them all the time, so we know how Marlon plays off coverage. We know how MP is going to jump a route, so it's going to work. But then also again, we have two coaches, offensively and defensively, that don't know in-game adjustments. They stick with their basic schemes. When you get against these other defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators, they adjust, just like in the Jacksonville game. First half, it wasn't working. They totally switched their scheme up. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's working with us, because we don't have coaches on either side that can get to it. Now, I know in this last game and in other games, a lot of people are blaming Lamar. They're blaming the offense for not getting it done. But if you've been a Ravens fan for a while, you know that defensively, we've done our thing for years. Offensively, we haven't scored. You can say Lamar didn't hit passes, the receivers didn't run the right routes. We need this, we need that. But they put up 27 points. They put up 27 points, regardless of how you want to put it. They put up 30 something points against the Dolphins. This clock management issue thing, it's not new. It happened before Greg Roman. It happened before Lamar Jackson. We've had this ever since John Harbaugh has been here. Everybody he's brought in to coach, aside from Gary Kubiak, we've had these clock management issues, bad timeouts, bad challenges. They do the screen, they do the shots of Greg Roman in the booth doing the plays, and sometimes you just see him back there like this. Oh yeah, play call. Oh my God, I forgot. And I also read an article the other day, it was speaking about, how we do our personnel, how we do shifts, how we do it's always interchangeable, and we don't have certain packages that just roll. We don't have three wide receivers on the field at one time and let them play for two or three plays in a row. We're constantly moving people in and out, and that takes time. I think he needs to shorten the terminology. I think he needs to have plays set up. I mean, like, you should know, hey, if we get this many yards on this down, this is my next play. If the defense is playing this coverage, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I don't know what's going on, because it seems to me, and I don't know who this falls on, every time a play is called, Lamar has to look at his wristband. I don't know what that's all about. It's just offensively, it hasn't been working. And to me, it falls on John Harbaugh, because he's allowed this to happen year in and year out.
I agree. To piggyback with both of y'all just said, like, yeah, he definitely in year 5, he definitely needs to have more of a green light for sure. Like every quarterback in the league that's a starter has a green light to an extent. Like you gotta let your MVP caliber quarterback just be able to go. If he see the blitz is coming and he wants to check down to a run that he knows is going to beat the blitz, let him do it. Or if you see they playing single high coverage because they want him with the run, he want to take a shot to do, and they want to let him go, let him fill out the game. Everything not going to be drawn up as a scheme on paper. It's just not going to work like that. Like I said, the defense get paid too, like you said, and do the defense coordinator. They get job to do, so you got to improvise and let him do, and let him go with the flow. He's on the field, so they gotta take the training wheels off, as far as that. And yeah, like we all know, our receiving core isn't the best. Like Shannon said, it's serviceable. So with that being said, they gotta be put them on the field. Like put them. If you're not gonna go bring in no receivers, fine, cool. Least use the ones you got. Like Pat Ricard should only be in the game with short yardage and goal line situations. He should not be catching those screens. He should not be running routes. He should be on there for short yardage, goal line. And if you're going to be back there, let him be back there to pass protect, because he's 300 pounds, so he's going to be able to pick up blockers and blitzes. So that's the only time he should be in the game. There's nothing against him, but it's like because he's taking snaps from other receivers that can get their work. And Lamar, yes, he definitely didn't play his best game, but like I said, he didn't lose us the game. He didn't went out there. He didn't go out there and have a Zach Wilson performance, where it was like, what the hell is he out there doing? Like he overshot some throws, sure, but like as I put the tweet earlier, I'm sure all y'all saw it. We had three touchdown drops. They
Mhm.
catch those. We will talk about the overthrows. I'm not saying we wouldn't, but it wouldn't be a thing like everybody just like running with it. They'd be like, he overshot some throws, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you can like I said, they catch those passes. That's 12 extra points on the board. But like I was telling somebody on Twitter, I said, look at Lamar's receiving core versus everybody else's. I said, if everybody else can have a top 10 receiver, why can't he? When we say he need one, oh, he need all this. Like, bro, no, he just all we saying is he just needs somebody else besides 89 to trust in the playoff. Cause that's my thing. Of course, the Marcus Robinson and all them gonna look good now. We all seen this. When it comes to playoffs, when they say, you know what, we're gonna double 89 and we're gonna spy Lamar, is Demarcus Robinson, Duvernay, and James Jose and Tyler Wise really gonna consistently get open? That's my thing. That's why I always say get a receiver, not more so for numbers wise, but just for the impact, the way as though they can't defend us like that anymore. So that's just my whole thing when I say I want a receiver. Somebody that's just gonna be well respected, like Stephon Diggs. They know not to sit there and single cover him.
Mhm.
AJ Brown, they know not to single cover him. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Like if you look at all the quarterbacks in the league, all of them have a top 10, top 15 receiver. They look at Lamar receiving core. Nobody's in the top 40. So it's like it's a huge drop off. And then we want this guy to throw for 400 yards a game. It's just not going to happen. You got to have the pieces to do that. So,
What's I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
Henry.
To your
Go
to
ahead, go
your
ahead, go ahead.
point to your point earlier, when you said about him scanning the field and making checks, how can he? It's no time on the clock. There's no time left
Yeah,
on the play clock for him to sit there and look and
yeah,
see who's the blitzing Mike, who's doing what. He doesn't have
that's
that
true.
opportunity. And then, more importantly to me, the only person that they scheme open is Pat Ricard. They don't scheme any other wide receivers open. They scheme plays for Pat Ricard to be the primary in it. Why are you down? We down a point. We got the length of the field to go, and you got Pat Ricard in the game.
Yeah,
Make
And
that make
that's
sense?
part of the reason why I don't get hung up on like we need a wide receiver because I think about if we get one or had one, would they get the ball? Like I heard them say on the game Sunday that was Duvernay's first drop of the season, and we all say the same thing. Why doesn't he get the ball more? Why can't we
Right.
make up schemes and be creative and get him the ball more? Get the ball in your playmakers' hands. So and ultimately it's going to fall on John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, regardless if you like him, don't like him, wish he was gone, think he should have been gone. It's going to fall on him because he's the head coach. And as you said, this has been a thing in Baltimore for years. It's not nothing new. We've never really had an offense that we could be excited about besides 2019, and that was with Lamar leading the way. And I still think that a lot of us, get hung up on 2019 because we saw it happen. Greg Roman was offensive coordinator then too. I personally think it's time to let him go. And I'm talking about like right now. Like, I think that if we let him go, it would be kind of similar to a Cameron Spark. Because I think that Lamar is too humble to actually, like, even though I say, I wish he would come out and say what he want to do so that the coaches can address it one way or another. I think that he's too humble of a guy to do that. And I don't think that he would, like, get on Twitter and tweet about the coaches. I don't think he would do any of that. But I think that if we made a change like that as far as getting a new offensive coordinator, that will make everybody on the offensive side wake up, right? And then maybe be more creative. When Cam Cameron left, it seemed like the field opened up, and then we won a Super Bowl. So that's my thing. It's just like, I think I'm just tired of talking about Greg Roman because we've seen this with the 49ers, the Bills, and then we're seeing the same thing. It's time to cut ties. And if Harbaugh doesn't do that, he might not be here next year. As much as I like him, I respect him. He could stay here as long as he wants to be here. As far as I'm concerned. But if he doesn't get rid of Greg Roman, John Harbaugh's gone. Like Steve Bisciotti's not going to keep putting up with this. And think about it this way: now we're in a tie with, like, we're still in the lead over the Bengals because we beat them, but we still got 6 games left to go. Let's say for I don't even want to speak it into existence, but let's just say we don't make the playoffs again. John Harbaugh's out of here. Like, I mean, and for my thing with him is, if you want to keep your job, you better start thinking like 2012. It's time for a change. And also I think it's unfair to Lamar at this point. Like, if we can all sit up here and say what's wrong with this offense, it's unfair and I don't want him to leave. But it's unfair for us to expect him to do any more when he is being held back because the offense itself is so elementary. So I think, to be fair to Lamar, so that you can really judge him as a quarterback and really say whether or not you do or don't want to pay him whatever you pay, right? Like, we don't care. It's not coming out of our pocket, paying what you want or what he's willing to take. But if you don't change offensive coordinators and let's see something different for these next 5 to 6 games, you set Lamar up for failure. And then that's when the narrative is going to come that, the Ravens haven't done right by him. I think it's time to cut time. I don't like saying, fire people, but I'm talking about for the sake of the team and a spark that's needed offensively only, he needs to go, like, now. And if he's not gone, but obviously he's going to probably be there on Sunday because he's not fired yet. But if we have the same thing happen on Sunday, Monday morning, John Harbaugh needs to be saying, thank you for your services.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Did y'all see the article? It was published in like 2013 to 2014. And I think it was a San Francisco beat writer or something. And he was like, yeah, good luck with Greg Roman. You're going to have delay of game penalties. You're going to have false starts. You're going to have all these issues. And people were reading it like somebody just wrote it last week. They were like, his offense is going to start off number 1 in the league, and each year is going to regress and get worse. And people thought that this was a current article, but it was an article from when he was with the 49ers. And it's the same thing going forward. John Harbaugh knows this. And for me, Bisciotti should see, how many offensive coordinators are you going to have to go through before I start to realize it's you? Right. It's you. You're coming out saying you want to be this run dominant team. You want to zig when other people are zagging. What has this zigging and zagging gotten us? That 2012 Super Bowl, that was on the players. We had to have a mutiny for the team to come together to say, John Harbaugh, we're not doing what you say. We're doing what the leaders on this team says.
Ray had to play with one arm, basically.
Exactly. So I'm not giving John Harbaugh credit for that Super Bowl. No. He tried to lose us that Super Bowl with that damn fake field goal.
Yeah.
Like the same tendencies that we had. And another thing that people fail to realize, we literally won that Super Bowl thanks to Greg Roman. That's the only reason I like Greg Roman. The 49ers at the end of the Super Bowl ran the ball. Frank Gore could not be stopped in the second half of that game.
Oh, for sure.
They got down to the 5-yard line. Greg Roman said for the next 3 downs,
We're
instead of
gonna throw
running, we're going to throw the ball. So I thank
it.
you, Greg Roman, for being who you are. But unfortunately, he's brought that over to us. And we can't see that he is sabotaging his team. Listen, schemes. Okay, listen, be a man and say, I need help. I have a decent run game. He's not a run game guru because if you look back at his history, black quarterbacks have carried him and his teams to the running game. It's not his run scheme because we saw last year when Tyler Huntley came in, we couldn't do a damn thing.
Couldn't run the ball at all. You're right. I'm glad you said that.
And be a man and just say, I need help.
Right.
Look, I can't scheme wide receivers open. Dudes is in the same place. Like, do something different because it's not working. And that's what frustrates me about John Harbaugh because he wants to do things his way. His way, he believes got us a Super Bowl, and he continues to do it. And year after year, we continue to go to the playoffs and do the same damn thing. Greg Roman says, listen, I know this is working for us, but I want to show y'all something different. And then we try that something different, and we end up losing a game that we shouldn't. So I think Harbaugh needs to go. I think EDC needs to go because none of his drafts have produced a goddamn thing except for Hollywood Brown. And he's not even here.
Yeah, I agree, Hindu. Totally. I know we differ on a lot of things, but this type, I no rebuttal on any of that. Like I said, EDC. You see, Brandon Bean gave up a first, went and got Diggs. You see, Chris Greer said, "Man, Kansas City, I want a first and one for Tyreek Hill. You got it, and we paid him." You just see these Philly. You see, they wouldn't got it. You we have to do the same thing again. And then, but first and foremost, before you get those guys, you got to move on from Greg to Shannon's point because we get them while he's still here, they're going to be disgruntled. Because if Hollywood complain, you don't think AJ Brown would complain? You don't think
Okay.
somebody that's 10 times better than him will complain?
I don't
So
care.
he has. No, I'm saying he has
No.
to go. He has to go. He has
Yeah,
to
what
go.
I'm saying is I don't care. I want us to bring in that talent
I
because
do too. I do too.
once you bring in that talent and we fail, now they really have to look and say, what's the problem?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you force them to look at Greg Roman a little bit harder and say, okay, we've got the pieces because don't forget, DeAndre Hopkins was gone for a third and a fifth. So you can't tell me we couldn't have given up a third and a fifth for DeAndre Hopkins. We gave up a second and a fifth for Roquan Smith.
Right.
But it goes to show you what they value and what they don't.
Oh, most definitely.
And that's been the Ravens' way for as long as we've been in existence. Eric DeCosta learned from who? And Ozzy is still in the building. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not to the point of saying like fire Eric DeCosta. Like, I don't know. Like I'm more of a person that likes continuity, right? So I just feel like I think about all these teams around the league and which ones have been the great organizations and even ones that you think like for instance the Giants, right? Like now they look like they're a totally different team. They have a totally different culture, and it's based on that coach that came here. That reminds me of John Harbaugh in 2008, right? So we can all talk about the negative things that he's done or what he hasn't done, but for me, I can't forget what it was like being a Ravens fan from '96 to 2007. Okay, and from in that time frame, it wasn't a whole lot of going to the playoffs and winning. Even after we won the Super Bowl in 2000, we only made it to the playoffs 4 times. That time 3 more times in 7 consecutive years after the 2001 season.
Yep.
It was a reason why we got Billick out of here after paying him because we weren't being consistent. When John Harbaugh came to me, he brought discipline. Our defensive leaders, they were doing what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. They didn't have they led the locker room. And when he came, he even said, John Harbaugh said that when he initially took the job, he was going to tell Ray Lewis to stop doing his little dance that he does before the game.
Yeah. I
And
meant
so he
the
came here
introduction.
and got
Yeah.
engulfed in the culture and realized how important that was to us as a whole. And he let it stay. He didn't come in trying to change things per se, but he did come in bringing discipline with something I think that a lot of those guys needed. Now, yeah, by year 2012, that was 5 years in John Harbaugh's system, right? People got frustrated because we weren't, at that point, we was making the playoffs. We had been to the AFC Championship, 2 times at that point? We were winning. We had done more in those 4 years with John Harbaugh than we had done with anybody else. But in 2012, they felt the way. The leaders were leader enough to say what they had to say. And Harbaugh was also man enough to take what they had to say. It was a back and forth. It was a dialogue, and it worked. I would love for something like that to happen right now. When we heard about, I think it might have been after week 3 or 4, that the defensive guys pulled Harbaugh up and told him things that they wanted to do different, and John Harbaugh allowed it. I like that. So, I'm not knocking nothing you just said about John Harbaugh. if he's gone today or tomorrow, I'm not going to be one standing on the table saying we should have kept John Harbaugh. But while we're talking about him, I just want to throw out there that he's done some good along with the bad too. And if you feel like the like his message has gone stale, then you got to move on. Because like you said, ultimately it falls on him because he's the constant out of every coach that's here. And these are the guys that he's chosen. And the best offense that we had the best offense we've had underneath him, he didn't even pick that offensive coordinator.
Bisciotti did.
Exactly. So my thing is, Bisciotti could fire him, or Bisciotti could do the same thing again and say, look, get a different offensive coordinator, or I'm going to get one, or you can go. John Harbaugh likes to hire his friends. He's been doing it since he's been in the league. But I can't knock him for that, because if you had an opportunity to hire your friends and they could do a job, you probably would hire them too. It's just that it's not working and it's stale. And as far as Greg Roman, we knew this was going to happen. Like, I did a podcast in 2020 and I said it then. Like, I'm afraid for what's going to happen. Lamar did what he did last year, but we saw this with Kaepernick and Tyrod Taylor. So that's why I'm just saying, before we say get rid of Harbaugh, let's get Greg Roman out of here like yesterday. And let's see what we can do. Because my point in saying all of that is John Harbaugh is open to everything. He allows you to come and talk to him. He ain't putting up a bitch fit about Steve Bisciotti hiring an offensive coordinator. He let Kubiak do his thing. And we know that offense is not John Harbaugh's thing. That's fine. Some coaches are not defensive guys. Right. That doesn't make him a bad head coach. So if Bisciotti can do one of those three things, tell him, get rid of Greg Roman and pick somebody that can do something different, fire, or two things, or fire John Harbaugh.
But how many offensive coordinators do we have to go through, though, before we realize it's John Harbaugh?
Well, think about it. Some of the offensive coordinators were getting head coaching jobs. Like, it wasn't like when John. So we had Cam Cameron for what, almost 4.5 years. Right. Then Jim Caldwell. Then he was there.
But Jim Caldwell was a little different.
Then he left. Yeah. I don't even really remember everybody who came in. Who was
Marty Morningwig?
Oh yeah, so he didn't. And so then it was Marty,
Mark Trestman,
which is John Harbaugh's friend, and now Greg Roman, which is John Harbaugh's friend. So I'm just saying, like you said, if you feel like ultimately it's all on him, fine.
It's not all on him.
Then my question is, then who's next? I just hope that the next guy that we bring in can be the next great coach that can be in Baltimore for 10 plus years, because
and that's
the Steelers are a great organization. They've had 3 coaches in 50 years. Like, I don't want to get into a situation where we have we just turn over coaches left and right because this one can't get right. I've seen it with look at what happened with Philly. Like, I've seen great organizations go through some BS because you get rid of a good coach. So I'm just saying, that doesn't mean you don't let him go. It's just that I hope that the next pick is that guy that can also be here for 10 plus years, because that matters to me.
Shannon, that's hard to. I feel everything you just said to a T, but that's like saying, if I go play this lottery ticket right now and all of us hit, you can't succeed that. You just gotta just go with your gut. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, if that was the case, Doug Peterson would still be in Philly. He just won a Super Bowl literally not too long ago, literally. So
yeah,
it'd be
something
like
was going on there for them not to win.
Yeah.
Something was going on. It wasn't about not winning. I don't really know what happened up there.
Right. It was.
I mean, but John Harbaugh was on his way out the door. We're not going to act like he wasn't about to be out the door. He was. Right. But I mean, it's a lot of options. But ultimately, if you fire John Harbaugh, right? Like, I don't know if you mean like right now, end of the year? Because my thing is, if we wait until the end of the year, 9 times out of 10, I mean, Greg Roman stays to the end of the year. And that would be just bother me, because I know that we're going to get to the playoffs if we make it, and it's going to be the same old story. And unfortunately, that's not going to be a good thing for Lamar when they come to the table to talk about his contract, because I mean, he can say it's Greg Roman. Like, I wish that I don't want, like, we know that Lamar is frustrated, right? Mm-hmm. He's been the most humble guy. Like, as electrifying as he is so humble. Like, he's a humble superstar, right? I've never seen Lamar more frustrated than I've seen this year. From kicking the ball on the field to screaming and ranting and raving at players, he's upset about something. I would just like him to say to the coaches, not to us, not to the media, not on Twitter, but just like Humphreys and Marcus Peters, and we could talk about him later, approached Harbaugh earlier in the season. I just want Lamar to do the same thing, because we as fans can say all of this.
Right.
But if the players just go along with this every week and this is just getting mad, then nothing's going to change, and we're going to go to the playoffs and look, and it's going to be the same thing, one and done.
Fact. So that listen, my problem is not just I just want Harbaugh gone and negative, negative, negative. My issue with him is accountability. Like you said, for me, if I hire, and anybody that knows me, if I hire family and friends and I love them to death, you're not doing your job, I'll fire you today. I don't care. Family, friend, mother, father, my daughter, my son. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're gone. But my problem with Harbaugh is Lamar literally came in and saved your job.
Yeah.
So you would think that as electrifying as he is, you would say, you know what? Let me adapt and adjust and put some weapons around you. You're our best player by far. Let me get you some help. But no, you want to stick to your philosophy, defense and run the ball. And we see right now where that defense is getting us. So that's my thing with him. He just isn't adapting to the times.
I agree, Hendo. He definitely, like I just previously said, you see what the other GMs did. They got a young quarterback, they like, hey, we're gonna surround him by talent. Like we gotta give up. That's when it falls on EDC. Give up them picks, man. You gotta give them up. I get it. You don't. I'm not saying be less sneed and just go bonkers. Nobody's saying that.
Be a
But give
middle,
up a
go in the middle. Go in the middle. You
right.
don't have to be one or the other. Just go in the middle
Yeah.
somewhere.
There you go, Hindu. Like I said, you can give up a first round 1 year, especially when you know it's gonna be high 20s.
But
Because
some of
like I
these,
said,
some of these people
yeah.
they didn't even go over trade for first round picks. That's my problem. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right. To your point, I'm just saying, just don't
I know,
like.
not you. I'm not talking. I'm not talking
Yeah, I
about
know.
you
I'm just saying in general, but like you can't. We don't need 16 draft picks every year. You're not
because
even
you
gonna
can't
keep all
draft
those
no
kids.
way. You can't draft anyway. So
That
what
too, and
difference
you're
do it
not
make?
that too, and you're not gonna keep all those players. So it's like some of them, you're only gonna keep maybe half. So it's like part ways some of them to get some proven talent. And like you said, he hasn't been hitting on them like that outside of Hollywood. So it's like we gotta the EDC. He gotta take some blame too, man. You
Oh
supposed to
yes,
wait.
most
You
definitely.
supposed to went and pulled the trigger and got a DJ Moore before the trade deadline, or went and got Jerry Judy or whatever the case may be. Like you let these teams beat you to the punch. How you let Buffalo beat you to the punch and get Stephon Diggs and he played in Maryland and he grew up here. Like I don't understand that. Like to get who Patrick Quinn, I like him, but that was
Uh,
that pick would have been
don't
Stephon.
do
That would
that.
have been listen. That would have been Stephon Diggs. I'm being real.
Or T Higgins.
I would have even lived with that because at that point it would have been like getting them in the second because it was a first at 29. So we haven't been aggressive enough. We keep getting guys in the third and fourth round. You gotta get show enough studs. Trade up in the top five and go get a Jamal Chase. Like sometimes you gotta just go hard. You know what I mean? Because in the long run, it's gonna pay off. I mean, I get it. Building to the draft is the cheap for sure way to build your team, but sometimes you have to go ahead and roll the dice, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read some of these comments. Sorry, Shannon. I ain't mean to annoy the other Shannon. He said, "Agreed, Shannon. It's been a rough 7, 8 weeks offensively. Although they have scored 27 points multiple weeks, they've also left several points off the board by not being able to score TDs. That's true. Very true.
But where's all our money at? Where's all our draft capital at? It's on defense. We can
Defense,
talk.
yeah.
We can talk about offense all we want to. We are and like you said, Shannon, from the beginning, except for the Vinny Testaverde years, we are a defensive team. We're built on defense. And you're telling me we're blaming the offense for not scoring a touchdown when we scored 27 points? Lamar put us in the lead with 2 minutes left.
Hmm.
So it's his fault that the defense let Jacksonville go down the field
And it's funny
with
you say
no
that.
timeouts.
It's funny that right there not getting talked about enough because as much as everybody we could talk, we know Lamar's not the perfect quarterback. We know that. Like we can talk about that till the cows come home. The fact is, we just let a team drive up and down the field on us with zero timeouts and score a touchdown and get the two-point conversion. But everybody want to keep talking about him missing DeMarcus Robinson on one or two deep balls. Like
And
make it make sense here.
and let's not
Make
forget the
it make
fact.
make sense here.
Let's not forget the fact that Travis Etienne went out in the first quarter. So their best or second best player was gone for the whole game. But I
And they
guess
killed it. And they killed this with a backup running back. But all everybody want to talk about was the overthrow. Cool. I'm not saying he can't take no blame or criticism. See, the thing is, it's two. You know this, and this is criticism and hate or two. It's a thin line.
it is.
It's a thin line. You got criticism to say, all right. See, Shannon gives them criticism. It's a difference. She don't hate Lamar. But I see people who just like when I hear them talk, I'll be like, yeah, they really hate this kid, and it shows in their
Mhm.
comments.
And
Oh, we should
it's
we should
sad as our
start.
fan base.
Right. They said one person said we should start Tyler Huntley Sunday. I'm like, wow.
Now
I'm
I've
like,
been saying
wow,
when people
What
say that, I'm like, I'm not on
wow,
that team. I'm
no,
not. I ain't saying
wow.
that.
what happened to the Chase McSorley fans? Where they at? Remember that one game, and then we need to start Trace McSorley. He's the best quarterback on the team.
I'm like,
all right, so let me make sure this question right, because this is not me saying that it's not the defensive fault. Like I feel like it's everybody's fault. Like I feel like you can blame it's a whole lot of stuff.
That's
right?
true, but when you come down to it, much as
I know I'm about to ask you a question about.
Ask the question. Ask the question. I want to hear the
question.
Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead.
In a playoff game, what it was 2014, I think. That was Torrey Smith last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
2014.
Yeah.
And we had got 2 14-point leads,
mm-hmm.
right? And the defense was allowing the Patriots to come back into it.
All day long.
And even in that, Joe Flacco put us in a position to still win that game, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when the game ended, how it ended, which ended in an interception, basically.
Yeah.
Majority of this fan base did not blame the defense. Majority of the fan base was blaming Joe Flacco for throwing an interception. Never mind the fact that we had got 2 14-point leads, and think back to our teams back then. Like that's a team that we should have. We went to the Steelers and smashed them. Went to the Patriots and had 2 14-point leads. I'm saying that to say, I guess my question to y'all is: did you walk away from that game thinking, man, I was on the defense, or did you walk away from that game thinking? Yeah. Joe Flacco threw an interception, or Torrey Smith didn't catch the ball. What was your opinion at the end of that game?
I'll start first and let Hendo, because I know he'll get more into it. But me, I remember it was the defense fault. Yeah, in hindsight, he had a chance. But even if he do throw a touchdown, I'll be like, it shouldn't have came down to that. Me personally, it shouldn't have came down to that because we had 2 14-point leads. In hindsight, you can say because if we score, we win. But in the day, he shouldn't have been in that position. He should have been running at that point, running the clock out or something like that, or just running. He shouldn't even had to play catch up and being down like that. Like it's still either way you flip it, that was on the defense. Like I said, even if Joe threw the touchdown and won the game, yeah, we won it. But in the day, the defense is the reason that he had to be in that position. So me, either way I get why you say that, Shannon. I remember that Josh told you like this. You can't be serious. Like he got put in that. Like we had a 14-point lead twice. Like you got to be able to hold that. Granted, I know the secondary was banged up, but still, like you got to find a way to get a stop. It's just no excuse. So yeah, for me, my answer's still the same. It was the defense all the way.
Initially, for me, at the end of the game, I blame Torrey Smith because he stopped on that route and then tried to catch it to the ball. But then I looked back at it and I was like, it's the defense's fault. And not only was it the defense's fault, it was the defensive coordinator's fault. Because I remember that vividly because Rashawn Melvin gave up 238 yards receiving. And then that next day, I went to his house to work on his cable. So I'm sitting there working on his cable the whole time, looking at him like,
and he played well the week before. That's the crazy thing about it.
That's the crazy thing. But once again, it was the defense's fault. I mean, for us as an organization, we're known for defense. So when the offense per se doesn't live up to expectations, they get most of the blame because it can't be on the defense. Because once again, we put all of our resources into them.
That's outstanding. Right.
So it can't be on them. You know, we gave up 18 points in the fourth quarter. It can't be on the defense. Remember that play Lamar didn't have in the first half? What that got to do with the end of the goddamn game?
So that was my point. My point of asking that about that playoff game was that
I know
the reason I think that people, and it's not on Lamar, but the reason I think that in the end people say, well, if Lamar would have did X, Y, Z, is because I think we got in the red zone about 4 or 5 times and didn't score a touchdown. Right. If 2 of those times would have been a touchdown, that's at least 14 points. Well, at most 14 points right there. And it just takes me back to that playoff game saying, if you make the plays offensively, right, the defense won't do their thing. It was a time in a game on Sunday, the defense was balling. They were balling. Like, it was like Jacksonville would get on the field and get right off the field. As soon as I was looking, I'm like, dang, it's 3 and out already. Like, they were doing their thing. But then that's when it goes back to what I like to say is, or what I usually say is, I don't care about losing because I know that that's going to come. You're not going to go undefeated. Most likely you're going to lose a game or 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I get upset when we keep losing the same way. And any fan that any sport that I'm a fan of, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, I feel the same way. I don't care about losing. It's how you lose. Yeah, the fact that all 4 of these games we were in the lead and could have and should have won those, that's why you look at the defense like, no, y'all were supposed to hold that. That wasn't supposed to happen. You know, so that's what I'm saying. When that playoff game happened, I was mad at the defense. And then I looked at Torrey Smith. I wasn't mad at Joe Flacco because I felt like Joe Flacco did enough in that game with we've never had, big name wide receivers, but he did enough in that game where we should have won. How many people go to New England of all places and get 2 14-point leads?
Yeah,
So that's all I'm saying.
unheard of.
If that game on
At the
Sunday,
height of Tom
if
Brady.
we would have scored more on Sunday, that game would have been out of reach early, and it would have been a different ball game. But ultimately, it falls on the defense.
Can we really say that? Because we went up early and often on Miami.
I never going to say that. We can't really.
If the defense continues to play, the defense to me improved like after week 3. I want to say, but week 4. So from that point on, we've seen a different defense, and I've been saying all is right in Baltimore when the defense is doing that thing, right? So I'm saying that the defense was putting the offense in good position. They were getting good field advantage early on in the game. It could be a different type of game if we scored early. Doesn't mean we're going to win. No, we've seen them have big leads and lose. I'm just saying I will.
Yeah.
Hold on, probably internet connection. Hold on.
Well, just to her point, just like the Miami game, they blame Lamar for fumbling at the goal line.
Oh, I'm sorry, somebody called my phone.
Okay.
No,
D&D. Put it on D&D till you're done.
I thought I did.
No,
but also I was just saying if we scored more points, I think that it could have been a different game because the defense, from the way they were playing over the past few weeks, they would have played different. It would have been a different swagger. That's all I'm saying. But ultimately, doesn't mean we would have won. The defense still should have did what they had to do later on, right? So you can also say, could the offense have gotten closer so that Justin Tucker kicked a more manageable field goal?
That's
we
fair.
can say a whole lot of things.
Fair.
You know what I mean? But ultimately, you do look at the defense because how do you get to that point and blow it yet again? Because like you said, the offense put up X amount of points, regardless of what they did early on. They did enough late for us to win.
Right.
So the defense lost.
27 is still 27, no matter how it looks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you get it.
And even more so, Trevor Lawrence has not looked this good all year long.
He looked amazing.
And
he's a hell of a quarterback. It's just having
but
got a young team.
But for this top 5 defense, for this $43 million secondary, I know we're missing Marcus Williams, but for all the resources, the drafting, the free agents, everything we put in this defense, you let Zay Jones and James Hasty beat you. You let 2 people beat you for all of this talent that we have. Now, you can say the offense didn't do this and the offense didn't do that, but you didn't stop 2 people.
That's not even top 50 in a position.
Not even for the game, for a quarter. For a quarter, you gave up 18 points in a quarter. Now, just like I said with the Miami game, they say, oh, if Lamar hadn't fumbled at the goal line, we scored 30-something points. Stop talking about what the offense didn't do, and let's start talking about what the defense did do. They let teams score. Like, I understand what you're saying, Shannon, but we put all our resources in the defense, and that's the only reason I feel like this. Now, if we spread stuff around evenly, 60-40 or something like that, yeah, the offense, you need to do better. Defense did what they could, but we put everything into defense to stop this from happening. And in today's NFL, you're not going to do that. You're not going to shut down any team. Last year in the playoffs, Justin, we say this all the time. Number 1 defense in the league gave up 42 points. Number 2 defense in the league gave up 47 points. Stop putting all of your stuff into the defense because you're not stopping NFL teams. And once again, to your point, yes, we have looked like a different team in recent weeks, but the second half of this game, their offensive coordinator made an adjustment, and our grad assistant didn't do anything. We went fourth quarter. Why are we letting them play to the sidelines? They had no timeouts. 2 minutes left, 0 timeouts.
Everything in the middle of the field. Like I coach high school football, and I know that. That's what I'm saying. I know I can coach in the NFL now. I'm saying this stuff.
Right. You know that we've known since Devontae Parker. We've known since him. Brandon Stevens isn't it as the third corner. Give him some help.
They don't know they want him. They don't know they want him at safety or corner. My bad,
why have him? Zay Jones, 11 catches, 145 yards. Why do you have him guarding him on a 2-point conversion? This is why I put this on the defense, because it's certain things that as a coordinator you should look and see and say, you know what, timeout. We not Brandon, come in. You come, Pepe, somebody, Marlon, somebody. You go to him. We're not letting our worst corner go on their best player who's having a career day. Mind you, we could have traded for Zay Jones. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true, Hendo. But like you just said, when like you get what you pay for. Like I said, we put all this money into this defense. Like we went and got Marcus Williams.
We not getting what we paying for
No,
though.
no, no, no. Listen, this is what
I
I'm
know what you say.
ahead
I
to
know
the
what you say, but we ain't getting
when
what
you
we paying for.
we basically this is how we treat our defense. We treat our defense like Balenciaga, Gucci, and all that, and we treat the offense like the thrift store. We want to get
But you know
everything
why
on
they do
clearance
that
rack and
though?
sell.
They might do that because it's worked for them, right? So on one hand, you can say it's not
Say
working
Shannon, it's
because
the same rule. The
no,
rule
no,
it's
No,
no.
not.
let her
It's
finish.
not
Let
you.
her
I'm
finish.
not.
It's
Let her
not.
finish. Let her finish.
Go
Let her
ahead,
I'm
finish. I
go
just
want
ahead,
to
go
hear
telling
ahead,
you
this.
how they're probably looking at
go
it,
ahead,
right? So we
go
can
ahead.
look around at all around the league, all these teams that got these wide receivers and all these weapons that everybody wants the Ravens to have, right? How many of
I
them have
just want
actually,
one. Just
huh?
one. I just want one. I don't gotta have three or
Okay,
four. Just
either
one.
way, I'm just what my point in saying is this. We granted the definition of insanity is what we all know, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I'm saying that their line of thinking is probably we've won things, we've won games, we've won in the playoffs, we've won 2 Super Bowls without being like XYZ. Does that make it right? No. But all is what when the defense is not good, we don't it's different. It's just different. And as a Baltimore fan, you know that, right? Because we've won games with we've never had that. Like we've never had an offense that anybody was like scared of ever. Like it's always been based on a run game. So I'm saying that they probably looking at it like this is what we do. When other teams think about Baltimore, what do they think about?
I think about defense, of course.
They think about the defense and the run game. That's what they have run first team. That's what we've been. Now, to be able to do more, I feel like it needs to be a collective. Like that's why I'm saying it's all of them. To me, the offensive coordinator, the players you have on the field, the schemes you come up with, if a lot of that was different, it may look different. It may look different, but it's tough. And it's also tough when you pay money to players and they get hurt because you can't expect what happened to Ronnie Stanley to happen. You know, you
Right.
can't expect even what happened with Marcus Peters to happen. You know, we paid Mark Andrews. He's starting to get banged up. And that's just the name of few. But it's like you really can't help that. But I mean, I think if anything, we need to try to get younger and faster defensively because you can't bring back definitely we need another cornerback.
And
Marcus Peters.
Hindu Gray
I don't.
starts
And my
smiling.
thing with
Hindu Gray
Marcus
starts
Peters is
smiling.
I,
Like I
I
know.
love everything about Marcus Peters. I like his attitude. I like
Yeah.
everything he brings. Right, what he can bring to a defense as far as his attitude and all of that.
Right.
But
Father
I
time
mean,
undefeated. It's that simple.
he barbecue chicken out there. Like I mean, he getting to the point where he being targeted, right? And then he
Yeah,
want to
that's
rant
facts.
and rave and do all this yelling on the field, and it's like, bruh, did you just see what we just seen? You don't need to be the one yelling at nobody. Go sit on the sideline, look at some tape or something, you know. But and I give him grace because he is coming back from an injury, from
Right.
last year, so I do provide him with some grace.
2-year injury.
But yeah, I mean, I guess for me, and I understand everything, y'all. I'm not dismissing y'all opinion. I guess for me, I'm playing devil's advocate. Like, because we can sit here and brag on them all day
Right.
long and say, y'all ain't paying, you putting all the money over here and you ain't doing this. I just feel like I'm always like, let's talk about it all. Let's talk about like because as far as the defensive goes, when you look at who they paying, you have to look at who they paid and when they paid them. So like Marlon
I guess.
Humphrey, Marlon Humphrey's when he's on top of his game, he's an all-pro cornerback. You know, why wouldn't you allocate money there? We can't
Oh,
help that the
absolutely.
free agent
Absolutely.
safety that we bought in got hurt. We can't help that.
Right.
Yeah, but
You know,
we were
so it's
still
like certain
we were
things,
still ranked 32 when he was playing though. I
huh?
mean, we were still the 32 ranked pass
He
defense
did
when
his
Marcus.
job, but he did
No,
his
he
job.
was
Exactly.
no, he
We
had
can't make up for
yeah,
everybody
he was
else
doing
though.
his thing. That's
No,
my
no, 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 Shannon. He no,
He
to
did his.
Hindu's
He did.
point.
Oh, I'm glad they got Marcus
He did
Williams.
his job. He can't do the other 10's job.
yeah.
So
I
he can
mean,
have 12 picks and we still give up 30 points. It don't,
Hey Justin. Hey Justin, why are we giving up 30 points with all these people in the secondary? Because we
I'm
didn't get no
just
pass rushes.
figure.
Because we didn't get no pass rushes.
Good
That's
point. Good point.
why.
but
That's
and
why.
guess what though? And then that's when did JPP get signed? All I'm saying is
We shouldn't
I
have to
don't even remember
rely
what
on
year
that,
that was.
Shannon.
I mean, what week that was. My point in saying that is that the defense improved. Like what the first 3 weeks, I
Yeah.
think, is when they said they was a 32nd ranked. That I don't know what I'm not into numbers. I say it
Well,
all the
bottom
time.
up. Just say bottom of the. Just say bottom of the
I'm
league.
not big on
Right.
numbers either way because that 2018 Ravens defense wasn't the number one defense to me, but the stats said they were. So I'm not a big numbers person in sports conversations. Like I feel like stats sometimes will tell half the story.
They're
But
true. They do.
that's just my thing on it. But I don't know. I guess for me, I'm looking at it like I saw the defense improve. So And in one sense, it's like every time that they do what they did on Sunday, you're gonna be like, oh my God, you put all this money into the defense and da da da. But when we play a game like we played against the Panthers, and
but they're the Panthers.
You took the
no, I'm
words
talking
off
about
my
how you're supposed.
mouth.
My thing is this: I don't downplay nobody. Everybody in the NFL is
As you
capable of beating
shouldn't,
you on
but
any
it's
given Sunday.
Trevor Lawrence. Look, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield. It's like
No. I'm not even talking
it's not
about
even
that. I'm
close.
talking about the dominance of how they played. They could have
Right,
won
right.
against
I
Baker
get
Mayfield and got exposed too, but they didn't. My point is, in the fourth quarter of that game, it got nasty. It got real ugly for Carolina in the fourth quarter of that game. The defense was how many? What we had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, something like that. My point, what I'm saying is this: they have improved, but the way they lost yesterday, that took you back to the earlier weeks in the season when we was looking at them like what the hell is going on. So they all need to get back into the room today, like everybody, even special teams. Jacksonville special teams was kicking our butt too. I mean, I would like how many times did that kicker, punter, whoever the hell, he was booting that thing.
He got a leg. He got a pretty good leg.
And I'm just saying, like, that was a collective on Sunday. Like, but I do feel like ultimately in the NFL on the defense, because we could have won it.
Yeah, like I said, offensively, yeah, it wasn't pretty. Yeah, we had missed opportunities the whole nine. We know we left points on the field, but at the end of the day, not just us, any team, if you put your defense on the field with a 7-point lead and they have no timeouts,
2 minutes
you're
left.
not supposed to lose. You're not supposed to lose.
Right.
So all you gotta do is keep everything in the field. They gotta hurry up and get up. We couldn't do that. Like, damn, I was like, as sorry as the Lions is, I don't even think they would have gave that up Sunday.
How many fourth downs did they convert to on that drive?
Come on now. I don't even think the Texans or any of them wouldn't even let that happen. And these are the bottom tier teams in the league, Shannon. You know I ain't lying. It's just certain. It's just certain. I get what you're saying. You're saying they go both spectrum. They go both ways.
No. The defense lost us this game. I was just saying to y'all why people might be talking about Lamar, like why they might be talking about.
I get it. Yeah, we know why. It's time him to get paid. Et cetera, et cetera. We know why he's going to be the focal point, even when he don't decide the game.
That's
we know
all
that.
quarterbacks. They get all the credit. They get all the blame. That's just
for sure.
That's the position. That's just what it is.
For sure. All I'm gonna say is that we're gonna move on. If we want him to put up the Herbert numbers and all them, get him those type of guys, and let's just see what happens. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah,
almost
done. Look at their receivers. Much as great as Mahomes is, he is the man. He got a tight end. That's the truth. 3 receivers that can get open.
He got
same with Herbert. You got a tight end get open. 2 Pro Bowl receivers. Tua got 2 of the fastest receivers in the league. Josh Allen got 3 receivers that can start for anybody. Hurts got 3 receivers that can start for anybody. So it was like we expect him to come up there with Duvernay. I like all them guys, with guys who probably be like 2s and 3s somewhere else. We expect him to come out and throw 400 yards consistently. That's just not. It's just.
You know what? I just want Lamar to get a receiver he can trust.
For sure. That's all we asking for.
Because listen, it's been many a game that James Prochet has been wide open. I watched James Prochet be wide open damn near every game that we played. But for some reason, Lamar just won't throw it to him. He won't throw to people he don't trust.
For sure. That's a fact.
So I just want that one dude. Just one. On third down when we know we got to get 5 yards. He knows his guy's going to run past the sticks and get that first down and not run 3 yards and fall.
What Shannon say, yeah, Juice Man ain't that no more. He should convert to safety. He should convert to safety at this point. He's still good in run support, but lacking far enough in cover. Shannon, what you think about that?
He's right. I mean, when you start talking about the defense and what the issues are, like we talked about the pass, defense, it's the reason why it's that way. But again, like I said, I'm providing him grace because he did have an injury last year. But I just feel like you can't be playing like that and be trying to be the loudest one in the room, fussing and cussing every time something don't go your way. You know what I mean? You got to be a leader on the field too. So it is what it is. Like, I have faith that the defense can figure it out. Well, I don't even know. I probably shouldn't have faith then, right? Because we've lost 4 games the same exact way. So never mind. I don't know, man. I put that one out like Sunday. I couldn't even season my chicken in peace. Like I was trying to get dinner ready. I'm like, what the? No, man, no. The defense lost that.
Yeah, go ahead, Hindu. What you think about what Shannon just said? The other Shannon.
This is for me. I don't know. Like I like Marcus Peters. Um, we know it's a 2 year injury. The first
Right.
year they're gonna struggle a little bit. You lose a little bit till you get healthy. I personally like Marcus Peters because to me he is one of maybe two or three Ravens that play like actual Ravens that still have that play like a Ravens mentality. And he's
Mhm.
only barking and cussing and yelling because yes, I did give up. I did let the dude run past me there, but other people aren't doing their job. I mean, he shouldn't be the loudest one in the room, but I understand what he's trying to convey. I understand what he's trying to convey. I just say give him one more, see what he looks like again next year. But I know we're gonna cut him after this year because he talks too much, and we're gonna
That that
draft
that that blow up on the sideline sealed
on
that.
the
That's
it
just
sealed it, and we're gonna draft a cornerback in the first round next year. So yeah, I'm gonna be sad that he's leaving.
yeah. My thing with my only issue with him is he got to play more technical. What I mean is, you get what I mean, Hindu. Stop thinking you can jump every route. It don't work like that. You're not going to play the sorry quarterbacks who just going to drive
Throw
the
you
ball.
up the
You're gonna
ball.
when you play
Mhm.
quarterbacks that's decent and know what they're doing. They're gonna pump you. Like that's the thing.
Film
He
study.
he plays lazy in that. Like he don't play
Mhm.
technical. See, Marlon don't ain't gonna probably never get 10 interceptions, but he's never gonna give up a whole lot of touchdowns because he played technical football. He's gonna knock the ball down. He's gonna be in position. He's not gonna take risks. That's why That's why Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, he had 12 interceptions, but gave up almost 13 yards because you can't take that many. You can't take risk all the time. It's cool to do it here and there,
Mhm.
but when you keep constantly trying to do that, you're gonna get yourself in a world of trouble. You gotta sometimes just play
Mhm.
technical football. You don't gotta make a splashy play sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta do your job.
Facts.
All right, let's talk about the pass rush. You can go ahead and start, Shannon.
The pass rush.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't what it has been in recent weeks, as
They
dominant as
got
I
four.
would
They
have.
got 4 sacks though. Just wanna throw that out
I
there.
mean, yeah, I guess it's see for me, and that's what it's hard for me to break stuff down and be like, what you think about the cornerbacks, and what you think about the pass rush, what you think about, because it's like, and at the end of the day, they all work together. So it's like I can't. I
That's
guess they
true.
did their job. They did what they could do. Okay, they did what they could do, but they didn't do what they could do when we need them to do. What we it don't it just don't it don't matter. It's different.
Right.
How the game ended against the Panthers is different. With you asking me that, they okay.
Right.
They did what they had to do. 4 sacks, four whatever. Okay, but
Oh,
it didn't feel like a dominant type of, oh, the pass rushes after them type of thing. I
right.
just didn't feel that, because to me, Trevor Lawrence was comfortable. He was doing
Right.
his thing.
Right.
So that's why I'm just like, whatever. Okay, you said they got 4 sacks. Okay, okay.
What about you, Henry?
I mean, they were decent. They were okay till the second half. Once that offensive coordinator made adjustments,
Right.
then it
Mm-hmm.
pretty was much enough. Except for Tyus Bowles, listen. I give Tyus Bowles a standing ovation, hand clap. Like coming off injury,
And balling like that.
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yeah,
balling, and he
yeah.
had he got
He's
that
part of the
fumble.
reason why the defense had been playing well, and once he
For
came
Him
sure.
back,
coming back,
For sure.
yeah.
indeed. But I mean,
And adding Roquan now, a general that can
Of
man
course,
everybody in
yes,
position.
he
Yeah.
definitely changed things. Yeah.
yeah, but just overall lackluster to me because I mean, Jacksonville has a decent offensive line.
No,
Ain't
they
got
don't. They
nobody.
don't.
Ain't
They
got
don't.
nobody.
They don't. Hindu, they
I'm trying
don't.
to be man. I'm trying to be generous, bro.
I feel you,
I'm
but
trying to make
no.
us. I'm trying to make us look better. You know,
That line is
they got
terrible.
a decent. They got a. But and see that goes back to the talent that we brought in. Like we've been playing bad teams. We've been playing hurt teams. I know,
True.
Shannon. You said that we've been hurt all year long. Teams we've gone up against, their offensive line has been decimated, team after team after team, and
Hmm.
For the most part, yeah.
we're not getting at it like we should because once again, we need to get younger. We need to get faster. I love Calais Campbell, but to
It gotta
me,
be it. Gotta be it after this. I love him to death
Yeah,
because he's a Miami Hurricane guy, but
I can't.
he might tie for Hendo
What?
with hang
yeah.
his cleats
It's
up.
time
Listen,
to go.
well, since you said that, FSU beat Miami and Florida this year, just to let you know. But yeah, we need to get a little bit younger. And I'm a little bit disappointed in Justin Matabike. I thought that he finally was going to break out. Now he's been playing better than he has in the past because they've given him more opportunity. But these
Hmm.
last 3 or 4 games, he's disappeared. Broderick Washington, on the other hand, he stepped up. And a
Hmm.
lot of people don't know about him, but he's playing decent ball. Now, I can't remember. Now, I don't think it was you, but it was somebody that told me first round talent Travis Jones was going to change this whole defense. I ain't heard hide nor hair that dude since week 4.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't use him though, because he
Oh,
had
they use
when
him.
when he got, like I said, early in the year, he made a couple plays, got a couple sacks, but he definitely need to play more. And just Calais need to just come in and just be a reserve player because he can't play 60 steps anymore. He's like, it's just not, he ain't got it in him.
Yeah.
But I think they did okay. I give them a B because they did get 4 sacks, but they got you got to get those 4 sacks, like what Shannon said, when it's needed, when they're driving, when you know they're gonna like that last drive. We knew they had to throw the ball. They had no timeout, so that's when we should.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you pin your ears back and
Yep.
all hell
To
breaks
break
loose.
loose.
Like our D line coach used to tell me when I play, he said every time a pass situation, he said you gotta be like a shark in the water, seeing blood. You just gotta go attack.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Especially in pass situations. He said that's a D lineman's dream. Go attack.
I'm
He
sorry.
said let
I gotta take them down a notch, bro. Because I just remember somebody said during that last drive, JPP and Owe were the only two pass rushers on the field. I don't know what the hell happened to Justin Houston this
What?
last game. Yes, Justin Houston played like 2 snaps.
he
Justin
Okay.
must have
Houston
he must have
did something, but
reactivated him this fine.
you got JPP and Casper the Friendly Ghost rushing the pass.
That situation, you need to go. You need to do what the Giants do. Go with your speed guys all across the front. They're not going to run the ball. So
What is it? What does that fall on? What does that fall on? Justin coaching?
of course the defense. You
No, but
know
I'm saying,
that.
it falls on
Of
coaching.
course, you asking the coach that? Yes, it falls on coaching all the
Oh,
way. That's why I
okay.
said Mike McDonald. He is his own worst enemy. Like you got all like put all them guys like put Bowser, Owe, JPP, and all them on the field at the same time. Them
Same time.
offensive linemen not gonna be able to block all those guys.
Hey, somebody told me today. They said Michigan's defense got better this year, and they lost Aiden Hutchinson and Ajabo, and they're better this year. So what does that really say about Mike McDonald?
The scheme is clearly the scheme. Like that ain't no that's a no brainer. Like he gotta use these guys to straight. Like you should not be dropping your defensive tackle into coverage. Like why? Like
Then I
you
guess that always goes back
man,
to the question: is it scheme or players? Like if you're a coach,
scheme. It's
do
the
you
scheme.
do
The
you
play.
make your
Yes, you.
scheme? Do you make your scheme based on the talent you have and their strengths, or do you have a scheme and you're trying to fit these guys into what you do?
You asking
One
me
time
this
I
as a
heard
coach,
Shannon
or
Sharp say, "Huh?
you asking me this personally as a coach, or you just saying in retrospect?
You can whoever. I mean, it's a question because I'm saying like what you're saying
You
is
gotta.
about.
You
I
gotta.
guess my question is, what do you do as a coach? Do you
You
look
have
at it like who
this.
I
My
got on my
this.
team? This what I'm gonna do, or
This is just my personal opinion. You
Right.
have to run your scheme according to what you got.
Yeah.
You can't put a peg into a round hole. You can't do that. No
Mhm.
matter how much you believe in it, you have to run your scheme to your players. If you got a 4-3 team, go to a 4-3. It's that simple. And that's what we got. And that's what we got a personnel for. We got a 4-3 personnel. Man, Hendo been said this for a while now.
Beginning. So for me personally, I'll put it to you like this. Um, for Joe Flacco's career, the offensive coordinators that we've had, they've never played to Joe Flacco's strengths. They put their systems in to have him run it. He's been an average quarterback. We bring in Gary Kubiak for that 1 year. He goes to Joe Flacco's strengths. He
Look
has a
like an
career
MVP
year. He
quarterback.
has a
Yeah.
career year. So even if you are that rigid coach to like, this is my scheme, this is what we run, you got to tailor some things to
Mhm.
your personnel, and
Right.
we don't do it. And that's why I think even with Mike McDonald, I know I rag on him, but I think we have a system here, and regardless if it's Wink Martindale or if it's Mike McDonald, it's certain things we do because you can't tell me in the game against Miami you got uh Patrick Queen guarding Tyreek Hill. You got Justin Matabike dropping back into
I've
coverage.
seen both of those things, and I'm mind you, I'm at the game. I'm right there. I'm like, what? I'm like, is he high? Is he drunk?
So I think organizationally we have a scheme, and even offensively. That's why people say fire Greg Roman. I'm not with the fire Greg Roman train because
I am. I
nah,
am. I
bruh,
am.
because all Harbaugh's going to do is bring in another. Listen, this is a name to hear: Craig Vandersteer. Remember Craig Vandersteer? He's next
He like a consultant or something like that, right?
offensive quality control or something. He's next in
Yeah,
line to
yeah,
become offensive coordinator.
right.
So even if we fire Greg Roman, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with the offense. I'm gonna leave that alone.
No, but it's just to answer our question. You fit your scheme to the players that you have. Even with the offensive scheme we running now, it doesn't fit Lamar. It doesn't play to his strengths because at Louisville, he didn't play this at Louisville. He played a pro style offense. He just happened to be able to run well along with passing, but we don't see that though.
That's true. That's very true. But yeah, you definitely got to run your scheme to your players, Shannon, for sure. To answer the
I
question.
agree. I agree.
All right, this last segment, we're going, good, bad, and ugly. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Go ahead, Shannon. You start.
Um, the good I would say was Justin Tucker, obviously. Even though he missed the last kick, he did what he needed to do when when we called upon him during the game. He was definitely good. I will say the offense late. I mean, I always, like I said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I feel like they did do enough late for us to win that game. So late in the game, the offense was pretty. They were good. Um, the bad, it would have to be the defense again. And again, like I said, I don't care about losing. I care about how you lose and the fact that we keep losing the same. Well, these 4 games we've lost this year have been lost the same exact way. That makes me feel like I keep saying, all is right in Baltimore when the defense is good. I feel like we're like somebody pulled the covers over our head or something, because it's like, wait a minute, we got tricked a little, we got bamboozled. Like, this is not the defense that we were raving about for the past month or so. And the ugly for me is, again, the penalties. I don't understand why we continue to have the same penalties. Like I said, I don't care about certain things. Penalties are going to happen. When you keep getting the same penalties, and again, that's something that Harbaugh mentioned Monday. They do well with, with not having penalties during practice. It's like, okay, so what's happening in the game? Is it too loud? Is the communicate? What is it? So that's pretty much it for me.
Go ahead, Hendo.
My good. We didn't have any problems from the op. Morgan Moses, he didn't try to sabotage. No, I'm just playing. The good for me is going to be Cincinnati Bengals. They play the Kansas City Chiefs this week, and they still have Buffalo to play. So that gives us kind of a little bit of leeway in the loss column, just in case. The bad for me is the defense just continuously giving up double digit or two score fourth quarter leads in games. The ugly, John Harbaugh. That's going to be my ugly, because not because I don't like him as a coach. It's because we're still having the same issues that we've been having for years: the time management, the defensive breakdowns, the no adjustments, the situational awareness as a team, where the head coach needs to step in and say, you know what? I told you early in the week I didn't like this game plan. We need to do something different. We're still
Mhm.
having the same fundamental deficiencies that we've had for the last few years, and it just doesn't seem to change. And the thing that frustrates me the most is we get in these press conferences and he says the same thing over and over and over again. And the Ravens flock just eat it up like, yeah, he said we're gonna fix it. She said we're gonna fix this in week 5.
Yeah. Well, my good, bad, and ugly as Justin Tucker, of course, all those field goals he kicked. And that's all I really could say. Like I said, the offensive line didn't do too bad. We did run the ball. Gus fumbled, so that's about it. The bad, uh, not scoring in the red zone, kicked way too many field goals, so that's definitely that. And silly penalties, and the ugly, how defense collapsing in the fourth quarter. Gave up 18 straight points. So it's like, and then coaching errors and play calling, of course, on both sides of the ball. So those my good, man. Ugly. AJ, go ahead and let you say a little bit so we can get up out of here. Go ahead, give me
All right.
your good, bad, and ugly, and then go ahead and just talk about whatever you want to talk about real quick.
My apologies for being late, y'all. I literally just got off the road and parked. Um, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This game this past Sunday, it's a little dark in here. I'm in the truck, but I got my light on if y'all can't see me. But this game this past Sunday, man, I left my house in the second quarter. The reason I left because I knew we was gonna lose. Just how we was playing, coaching. It was just terrible. It was trash. Um, I don't know how Roman still has a job. The overthrows by Lamar. I'm not gonna get on those too much because I look at it like this. The one to Demarcus Robinson, I feel like we it's the right route, but the wrong person to run it. I feel like Duvernay should have ran that route. I feel like Deshaun Jackson should have ran that route. Somebody who has speed who can get under the ball. We try to do those same routes with the tight end with Mark Andrews. But it's pathetic. Nothing is changing. John Harbaugh is completely lost. I like I said, I don't know how Greg Roman still has a job. Marcus Peters, he gave up 3 touchdowns. The first one though, he passed off the running back in the zone, and for some reason, it's just like him and Chuck Clark, they don't communicate well on that side. I noticed that. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I live and die with Marcus Peters. I mean, outside of him and Marlon, I mean, you got Brandon Stevens and you got Pepe. So I mean, it is what it is. Defensively, up front, defensive line plays solid. Uh, Oway once again proves to me why we wasted a draft pick. I believe Marlon Humphrey has more sacks than him and Cal Hamilton, which is He's an outside linebacker, defensive end. To me, it's unacceptable. He got pushed out of the play a couple of times. Malik Harrison started. They should have kept him there. He helped on that 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1 and helped with the stop. I don't know what happened there, but this team needs a makeover. And until the makeover happens, nothing is going to change. I'm sick of John Harbaugh. Every week he says the same thing, and nobody is being held accountable. But I know we got to get out here. There's a lot more I want to say. But my good, bad, and ugly, I want to thank God for Justin Tucker. No, I am not mad at him that he missed the field goal. I mean,
Right.
I said it last week.
Can't be.
I said if it wasn't for Justin Tucker, I don't know who we would really be. I mean, he was crying, he was disappointed, but this loss is not on you, bro. You kept us in the game. The bad, of course, is play calling once again, and not being able to situational awareness to convert downs and gain points. Why would you throw a screen to a 300-pound fullback on 3rd and 15? It's the dumbest thing I ever said. I mean, I didn't understand it. I left my house. I just had to leave. I was like, we're going to lose this game. I don't want to get mad. I'm out. And the ugly is
Can't be.
Roman needs to be fired. I don't know why he still has a job. I mean, this reminds me of when Marvin Lewis was with the Bengals all these years, and they just kept him around. Somebody needs to explain to me why does he still have a job? I'm lost.
Horrible. It's horrible.
I'm lost.
I said he should be fired. I said that. I said that too. John Harbaugh, he should be inviting him into the office on Monday. Like, thank you for your services.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
you
Because if
know,
not, he gonna be out the door with them. They gonna packing up their office together at the end of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, but
I would rather much see Greg Roman going now. And if they want to get rid of John Harbaugh at the end of the year, then do that. But I just want to see something different offensively. Like, please. We were supposed to have 20% new offense. Ain't that what Greg Roman said in the offseason? I don't see
yeah,
Yeah,
nothing no
that's why we
different.
need. That's why we needed Lamar in camp because he need to
Yeah,
learn it.
and what's different? What's 20%? What is 20% at?
and on that last play, I looked at it. I'm like, why do we have Patrick Ricard in? You got
Who-
another tight end, and then you send another tight end on a route and tight end a wide receiver. It didn't make. I didn't. I mean, I just was like, you know what, man, we deserve to lose. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I want to see some guys get more time. I want to see Malik Harrison. He needs the reps over Oway. Oway is. I don't even know if he still plays on this team. Like I said, it's sad when your defensive backs have more sacks than your guy who you drafted to be a pass rusher. That's just me, but I don't know why he's still out there on the field. But it
Mhm.
is what it is.
Well, what's up, Coach? All right, go ahead. I'm gonna do our closing remarks, and we're gonna get out of here. Go ahead, Shannon.
Again, thanks for having me. I just hope next week we have better red zone offense.
Go ahead, Hendo.
Um. Yeah. Thanks for having me on here once again. Let's just not have a repeat of the season and have Russell Wilson have the best game of the season.
Oh,
Cortland
oh my
Sutton, Jerry
God.
Judy, KJ Hamler gonna go off. Former Ravens Latavius Murray, 100 something yards, 3 touchdowns. Let's not do that.
Albert O.
Right.
Oh, bro. Let's not have these dudes go out here and have their best games of the season against us. That's all I want to see. We should dominate them.
I agree. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, like I said, I want to apologize for being late. I want to thank Hindu, Shannon for being on here today, and JP for always putting us together. You know what I'm saying? And collectively bringing our thoughts, opinions, and assessments of these, I guess, Ravens games. If y'all haven't, please go like and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Talking Ravens all day, every day. Leave us comments. If you want us to talk about something, or even if you want to come on, I appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all for y'all time. And fire Roman. That's what I'm just gonna say. Fire Roman.
Well, for
Mhm.
me, thank you guys as usual. Hindu, Shannon. This is fun as always. Definitely going to have y'all on as much as I possibly can. What I mean, y'all probably gonna get sick of me asking y'all, but it's okay. AJ, thank you for chiming in. I know you're doing your thing on the road, but you still took your time to come on here, and tune in. Appreciate that, brother. And Thursday, man, you have our, we're just me and you. We'll conduct our, just 2-man show like we normally do. Let me give
Yeah,
everybody a
for sure.
break. Give all the guests a break. But we got to score in the red zone and defense. Just do your job, man. Do your job. We ain't saying you got to put your shutout, but Do not let Russell Wilson come down the field with no timeouts and throw a touchdown at M&T Bank Stadium. That's all I ask. Well, everybody, that's it for today's episode. Check it out on YouTube. Like AJ said, like and subscribe, share. Follow all the social media platforms. Thursday we'll start at 7 o'clock. That way that'll get AJ time to get situated. And, it'll just be me and him. We're gonna do a preview of the Ravens Broncos game. So definitely tune in, man. So love you guys. Have an amazing Tuesday. See you guys Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We out. God bless.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Right.